They say that money can't buy happiness, but according to research, it's the lack thereof that's considered to be one of the biggest contributing factors to a depressive attitude. And this makes absolute sense considering how the commodity is necessary to purchase everything from education to essentials. We should be aiming towards the increase of our own wealth, which can surprisingly be obtained by following a few tips and tricks. But what are these psychological tips and tricks that need to be followed, and how do they ensure that followers end up making more money in the long run? Before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos that we post. Number 1. Mindset is everything. When it comes to talk of the wealthiest members of society, ranging from Elon Musk to Microsoft's very own Bill Gates, there's a bit of a misconception being spread around regarding how these individuals made their money. As members of the middle class, we're often raised to believe that the wealthiest people in the world find themselves at the top because of dumb luck or a lucrative inheritance. But according to a psychological survey run in the United States back in 2014, 88% of millionaires are actually self-made. This means that only 12% of millionaires find themselves swimming in money because of an inheritance that is passed on to them at some time or another. But what does this have to do with those of us who aren't expecting a massive inheritance in the future? Well, for one, it shows that we don't need to rely on our families when it comes to the making of money. Sure, things would be a lot easier if we were to start off from a position of wealth, but the vast majority of millionaires got to where they are today because of hard work and determination. Simply put, this means that the idea of making more money is more than a dream. If you change your mindset from one of defeat to one of success, concentrating on your own hard work and dedication, there's no doubt that you'll be on the right track to increasing your net worth. Essentially speaking, mindset is everything when it comes to the making of money. If you believe that you'll never earn enough to buy something you like, there will be absolutely no reason to propel yourself forward. And on the flip side, if you know that a month of hard work will get you closer to your dream, then you'll find that this hard work will become a lot easier at the end of the day. Number 2, make small choices. Once you've got your eyes on the prize, it's always best to start with small choices. Although millionaires often make huge investments and savings over a period of time, this wasn't always the case for the vast majority of them. When starting out from nothing, it's always best to make small savings at a time. You have to find a balance between being a saver and a spender, if that makes sense. Saving everything that you earn is not only next to impossible, but that leads to a situation in which you aren't enjoying your money. The purchasing of luxurious items can be an incredibly helpful motivational tool, with those hell-bent on saving everything often running out of steam due to the lack of enjoyment. The opposite end of the spectrum is just as bad though, with many falling into this trap of spending everything they've earned, causing them to end up in the same position they were prior to the month of work they embarked on. To ensure that you get a great balance between these two extreme positions, set aside a small amount of money and refuse to use it for anything. Small choices such as these compounded over time have the tendency to result in a large financial impact, regardless of how much has been saved every month. The simple act of saving can empower and motivate you in ways that you won't expect. Think of it this way: saving just $5 a day with 10% compounded interest will allow you to accrue around $1,885 per year. And since saving a measly $5 a day is within the reach of practically every working man and woman in the world, it's a habit that we can all get into. Funnily enough, it's not just about the money though. While the act of saving obviously leads to significant gains over time, it also results in the saver obtaining a certain amount of control over his finances. Since financial control is what many lack, leading to massive amounts of anxiety, this definitely is something that should be kept in mind and practiced as soon as possible. So start saving today, even if it's just $5 a day. Number 3, viewing purchases differently. Another psychological tactic employed by a great many millionaires has to do with how they view the items they're buying. While on the way to work, you may be tempted by the smell of rich roasted coffee wafting from the Starbucks down the street. Paying mere $5 to get a caffeine kick will probably help you work harder, and it sounds like a pretty great investment at the end of the day. A great many members of the middle class tend to think this way, while millionaires are a little bit different. Rather than seeing the cost as $5 on a specific day, the wealthiest members of society often view this as nothing more than a loss. By the time that you retire, for example, the $5 amount you spent on premium coffee could have grown to $100. Once more, this doesn't seem like a huge loss, but considering how many workers buy coffee on a daily basis, this starts to add up until you're left with a massive amount of money that you have spent on something you called a necessity. Rather than giving in to peer pressure and believing that the premium coffee in question will help you perform better at work, view this small purchase in terms of an annual loss, rather than a daily loss. This will help you to see what the cost really is, rather than thinking it's nothing more than $5 each and every day. Getting lost in purchases such as these that end up adding up is one of the main reasons why many members of the middle class find that they're unable to save anything by month's end. So kick this bad habit in the butt by viewing such purchases from a different perspective. And don't interpret this to mean that you should never reward yourself for a job well done. In fact, you should definitely buy yourself a premium cup of Starbucks if it's something that will motivate you to work harder. What you shouldn't do is make a habit of this, and viewing a purchase from a monthly or annual perspective will definitely help you decide whether or not it's worth it at the end of the day. So think before you buy and use this psychological trick to break the habit if one has indeed crept into your work life. Number 4. Visualization can be incredibly helpful. A great number of wealthy individuals have also employed the act of visualization to ensure that they end up making a success of themselves. And while this may sound like a work of fiction, the research doesn't lie. Psychologically speaking, visualization is nothing more than thinking about where you want to be one day and how much money you want to earn. It might involve you visualizing yourself getting a promotion due to hard work done, or being able to buy that PlayStation 5 that you've wanted for the last few months. Either way, this process allows you to organize what is going on in your life and comes to grips with what needs to be done in order to actually reach your goals. This method was first published by Napoleon Hill back in 1937 in his world-famous book, Think and Grow Rich. And it's in this book that Hill lays out a step-by-step approach to pairing visualization with action, the former leading to the latter. The first step is to visualize the amount of money you want to make, and to be clear about when you want to make this target by. Then to think about what you're willing to give in an attempt to meet this mark. Whether it be in the form of hard work or time away from the family, you need to ask yourself what you're willing to part with in an attempt to get where you want to be. Only then can you truly visualize getting to that goal. As it turns out, this process of visualization can be incredibly motivating, as it makes a goal that was first thought to be unattainable feel within your reach. Spending at least 5 minutes of every morning visualizing yourself living this wealthier lifestyle will thus certainly have the effect of motivating you into action, essentially leading you to the achievement of your goal. Sleep on big purchases. Although hard work will sometimes require you to cut back on your sleeping schedule, the benefit of sleep should never be underestimated. Sleep has been psychologically proven to reduce stress, improve your memory, elevate your mood, and perk up your ability to concentrate on what's important. Keeping this in mind, those who lack sleep will have a difficult time making challenging decisions, many of which have long-lasting financial implications. In fact, research has shown that a lack of sleep contributes to the probability that a subject will likely choose to make a risky financial decision somewhere down the line. And it's not just the sleep that has the effect of refreshing a person, allowing them to contemplate a decision using a sharper portion of their mind. As it turns out, sleep is highly important when it comes to the making of large purchases because of the amount of time it causes the subject to spend on contemplating the actual purchase. In other words, while buying that new car might sound like a great idea now, sleep on this purchase and make sure that you feel the same in the morning. But what do you think of our tips and tricks? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below.